fully customizable games, so to say, is only increasing.
It's quite difficult to do these games. On the face of it, we're on like 350 plus brands now with the originals.
Wow.
So brand is not cosmetic, it's how people recognize and remember you. Original, simple games, Binko, how hard can it be? But the ability to make the games look and feel like the rest of the site is super important, right?
Yeah.
For lots of reasons, you know.
So you give the
Games, right?
template and they can play with it and make it their own.
Exactly.
It's more like Shopify for game studios.
Yeah, we'll use that. We'll use that going forward, yeah.
iGaming Real Talk is launching a new interview series from Biz Sigma South America. The event has matured into a perfect melting point for business in Brazil and also Latin American market. In 2 days, we have had conversations with leaders, experts from mature businesses in LATAM and Brazil, and we talked about the regulation as well as the state of the market in Brazil after regulation. This series is brought to you by Evoverse. They offer custom crypto casino source code so that you can launch your crypto casino the way you want it and you can have full control over your margins and the product. This series is also brought to you by Blocko Tech, which is your go-to platform provider for LATAM market. The Blocko Paddle Tour, sponsored by Sigma, also brings together global iGaming community with sport, fun, and competition across some of the events.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of iGaming Real Talk. I'm very excited to have Dominic here with me, who is the VP of Growth at Tequity. They are actually redefining or innovating a lot of things in the industry, the way the games have been done, as well as I think they're leading in their own category with almost 17 games launched as far as I've seen the updates and many more to come. So I'm very excited to have Dom here with me.
Great, so I'm really delighted to be here with you today to talk about what we're up to.
It seems like Tequity has managed to carve out a little niche for the brand itself from the way it launched and to now. How's it going?
It's going fantastically. I mean, I started Tequity about 7 months ago now. The demand for originals was, definitely there. Originals have been around for a good number of years, with some of the big players obviously having them for 5+ years. So the demand was there when I started, but it's really ramped up significantly. I wouldn't say that's all to do with my presence at the company, but it really has, increased the need for them, really. I guess it's come from a mix of different reasons. I guess one, the whole sector growing. We primarily operate in the crypto and the suite side of things. So there's obviously more operators coming into the arena. So that's improved, the take up from people looking for solutions. And also I think it's quite difficult to do these games. On the face of it, original, simple games, Binko, how hard can it be? But I think also some operators have done some of their own and then maybe realized in time that it's a little bit more difficult to do and to do well, making the simple or the complex to play simple, particularly from the user perspective. So it's grown substantially. We're on like 350 plus brands now with the originals.
Wow.
So
since when?
I sort of about 18 months, just getting off 18 months since the first one.
A lot of brands.
Development team would like we say, there was a lot of work prior to that to get things up and running and to get, and obviously we didn't come out with 17 games. We, released one every sort of month pretty much. It's been fantastic and no sort of sign of that growing, and also to being in Brazil, sort of different markets as well. But it's been a great growth sector for the vertical for the business rather. So long may that continue, and certainly see no sign of it slowing down.
What's really interesting for me is, would you say Tequity has pulled something like No Limit City in that era with originals?
Yeah, I mean, definitely, I would like to think where we are out there in front, right? There was obviously good competition and it's very good and long may that continue. But I think we've defined, ourselves as a leader in it for, a bunch of different reasons. A lot of that has come from our foundation in RGS, right? That's the original foundation of the business. That's
the engine that's powering
so
all the games.
The technology company, that's where infrastructure, everything sprouts from basically. And all the other verticals that we're now launching, but also obviously originals, right? That's that important. That's the kind of the behind the scenes, the core backend engineering provides that all the safety, database, everything that all runs from the RGS side of things. So we had that platform ready. So that gave us a bit of a, when I say 18 months from doing the first game, prior to that, we built this up back end, right? So and then we've I think we've hit the nail on the head in terms of the what we provided, this ability to brand new games and everything. So I
So
think
nothing new. Originals were existing before.
yes.
What you have done is you have come up with an RGS engine that powers that stability, and then you have
Yeah.
kind of relaunched some games. Is that the reasons mainly you would
Yeah.
attribute the success?
Yeah, I think so. Certainly the RGS is super. That's, a paramount importance, right? You then have the front end, right? So yeah, the games are there. They're familiar games. There's obviously this talk about originals, are they originals?
Yeah.
Familiarity. So they've been around for a while. So yeah, we've kind of executed really well. So we innovate in terms of some of the games we're coming out, and we'll talk a little bit about that more. But I think execution is as important, if not more important, with originals, right? So we've done that with the back end and then the front end. They work the front end from a user perspective. That's what they see. They don't really see what's obviously going on the back end. So it's got to be fast, super responsive, low this latency and everything. So that user experience has got to be, and that's the expectation, right? That's what you get on the the big boy sites and everything. It's instant fun, instant joy with the particularly the crypto and the sort of new age sort of bettors coming in. So yeah, I think we've executed on the back end front, obviously on the front end front, and then given the tools for those brands to configure them accordingly to make them their own product. And that's paramount importance really to have that as well.
So it sounds like the importance for originals, like fully customizable games, so to say, is only increasing. How important is it? And are you seeing that this is because of the crypto casino wave?
Yeah, I mean, well, having that full brand and customization is absolutely paramount. It's a way to differentiate. Obviously, originals have that familiarity. People are going to get the same games. They're not original from that perspective, but there is expectation, so you need those. But the ability to make the games look and feel like the rest of the site is super important, right?
Yeah.
For lots of reasons. Brand is not cosmetic. It's how people recognize or remember you, the players. It's that branding's that touch point. Every experience with the brand. So if the originals look, feel like the rest of the product, identity, the UI, then that kind of that affinity between the player and the brand, is there. And that's more, it's more so than third-party games. There's obviously a huge place for those, but that, and then it's also important with streamers and things. If they're streaming branded games, then they've got that full catalog of branded games which we provide. Then with streamers like XYZ, they can do that. And then their viewers are watching a game that's tied directly into that brand that streamers streaming for. So that is super important. I think it's on the recognized, and it is a skin of element. But I say branding, the full branding customization can be from, you can get it and get the whole sort of branding set up in a matter of hours, with logos. But to go deeper with it, we also provide that customization, in terms of like some of the games are very image driven. All those images can be changed. Like we have the cross the road game.
The chicken game. I remember the chicken game.
The chicken game still,
It didn't win my vote on your post.
a daily player. No, well, it wasn't. You're surprised that was the most.
I thought chicken would win, but it didn't win.
Chicken had the most players, unique players, not the most volume, I guess you could call it. There's obviously a few other favorites there, but whatever other animal you could insert here, right? So that's possible. There's like 30 images, just a little bit detail for like chicken game, and all those are editable by the client. Like not everyone comes in, they might change, put their logos in the cars or whatever, or background the logo and do a bit more. But you can check, some clients, someone who's got a sports book, they've turned it into like an NFL game, right? So you're not crossing the, to get a touchdown type thing. So there's loads of scope for that. It really depends on the imagination in-house that you can do. And that, so it is customization is super important. So if you've got a client that's got a mascot or something, then that's good. So we have that editor that they can do, they can do it at will. They can do a little bit 1 week, change, add a new game, totally different. We can have different instances of the same game. So a separate instance for a streamer with their mugshot on instead of the, mines and diamonds and stuff. So with, the editor's there. So one of your WYSIWYG editor, what you do is what you get. A non-technical person can do it. Or like if a client wants something a little bit that's not feasible within the editor, then we provide a concierge service as well to sort of fine tune it. So branding is critical. And I think that's like part of that. The back end, the front end, that's the third missing piece that I think's been critical to the success of the originals and the success that we've had with them.
Thank you for closing that loop as we move forward in the questions. One of the other things that also comes to my mind, when you say 17 games are launched, Are they launched through a specific studio for their brands as originals, or how does it work? Just for me to like get a hold of.
No, they're not through any particular studio. We have like a default template, a base setting, configurations, colors, fonts, whatever.
Yeah.
So the client can come into a link. They can choose a game. Say let's start with dice, right? You choose the overall general settings that covers the whole platform, all the games, right?
Got it.
So that could be logo, just colors. You get that basic UI, and that applies. You set that once, that applies.
So
to
you
all
give
the games,
the
right?
template, and they can play with it and make it their own.
Exactly. Yeah. And they see the changes live, right? They see the changes there. They add a logo in, color. So, if you've got
It's more like
a
a drag and drop builder, like a website framework.
It is like an old school website builder or one of the new ones. So it's super easy to use. So, whether it's a team that hasn't got an in-house designer, just a founder, they can come in and do that.
Yeah, because when Webflow launched, it solved a big problem for marketers, not having to go to the designers and developers, right? I mean,
absolutely. It's given that. Obviously, there's some quite small teams out there. We get up and running, right? They don't have resource, whatever time to commission a designer. But also, if there is the design team, which we work with some that have got the design teams of 10 or something.
And you help them as well.
Yeah, we'll train the whole design team.
Based on what you saw, what's working.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. I mean, they bring the design expertise, they know their brand best and everything, but we've obviously got a lot of knowledge from seeing 300 plus operators with their brands and what works and everything. So it's great for any size team. And and then they tell us we're ready to go live, we'll push the button, and then, they can see it in situ, test it internally, make any change at any time, update it. It's super simple. So the kind of friction is really low on that side of things.
So what does it actually solve for a studio or an operator? If they have to do it themselves, probably they would be spending more resources, time, and
I think if they quite often they're quite happy with some, because often we talk about speed, we talk also maybe speed about integration.
Yeah.
Often you don't have time to really customize a new chicken game or whatever, right? So you just want to get going. So this just is a way for anyone, if it's a non-design founder or a full team, they can go in and quickly get something up and running that looks right on brand, right? So that's the thing. Now they could do that in-house, right? If they want to do more design, generally when I'm talking about more custom design, it's like specific graphics, sprites, animations that really bring the games to life for their brand. Then of course, unless they're a designer of our trade, then they're going to have to get some resource. Now, we don't do all this in-house because there's not the need, but we work with some studios for particular clients. So we can offer that as a kind of bolt-on service. Like we want, a particular game. Let's talk about maybe towers. Yeah. Instead of chicken, instead of the dragon, we've got our own mascot, fox or something. We have a brief. So we work with a studio. So we know, and if that studio knows very well because they would have created an initial chicken game and stuff. So we can get it going pretty quickly. So that can also speed up rather than going to, another studio that's not done this before. So there's lots of different ways we can take someone to get quickest and save time, save resource, save some budget to really get them up and running quickly with what they want. So, yeah.
So if I have to sum it up, it's more like Shopify for game studios.
Yeah, we'll use that. We use that going forward, yeah. Yeah, basically, it is.
Sounds like that.
It is.
You're reinventing, you're just giving them a platform where they can do their own games, customize, get your support.
Yeah. And they love it. When I speak to prospects, I'd always lead with the editor, right? Because it's like, okay, people come to us because we're extremely good technically, they see our games, they work well. So it's like the final piece of the puzzle is, okay, how easy it for us to get it looking like we want? Yeah. So I lead with the editor and they can just quickly see. It's not all behind some sort of password wall. They can go away and try it out, have a play before they, decide to commit with us. So it is Shopify for game studios.
It was on my mind for some time. Like when they say 17 games, how does it work? Kind of thing. I think a lot of people that probably wondering ones have their answers now with regards to how the originals happen, how Tequity is taking on as well. Yes. We're here in São Paulo. Yes. Brazil is an interesting market as we sit here right now after regulation. So how do you see Tequity is preparing for the region based on the demand as well as your own content across originals, publishing? Are you focused on this region or what's the take?
Yeah, I mean, here to get boots on the ground, and really find out, learn as much as we can about the market. Obviously,
important.
Having someone here meeting experts, particularly in LATAM, a market like this, it's super important. things are quite different in many ways, obviously in the regulation side of things. So yeah, here for the week, meeting some local experts and operating aggregators, learn as much more. And we do, believe that the product line from Tequity has got a strong, can have a strong footing and hold in this market. So, but we're taking steps to go there. So yeah, expect to sort of see a growing presence here.
Okay.
We talk about originals. They are primarily for us on the crypto sweepstakes side, but we don't see any reason why with the type of gamers out there, players, that they have got a strong future here.
Yeah.
And there's a big opportunity because they're not, obviously adopted particularly strongly in the regulated market here. So there is really a strong opportunity for us to, develop that here. So take a little bit longer because the audience, let's say, compared to on the crypto side, that's what they're familiar with, that's what they expect. But as audiences change and habits and everything, evolve, then I think there will be really sort of strong uptake. So that's the role to sort of drive home that and see where the opportunities lie. So yeah, certainly the original side, and then
if you can share also the plans for LATAM region in terms of any new announcements, partnerships.
Yeah, well, we've just signed the contracts with Alea, so we're going to be going live.
Is it first on here? You're announcing?
Yes, it's first on here, so that's breaking. Good to get that one out there. So yeah, super pleased with the.
Alea is a big one. I think they're top 5.
Yes,
at the moment.
yeah, they are, and for us in this region, it's hugely important stuff. So we've met the team a lot, across the last few months at various expos and stuff. So that's been fantastic, and we have had interest from operators on the network. So super pleased for that. And these things take some time, but yeah, should be up and running real soon. And yeah, that'll kind of help us get a good foothold in the market as well. So yeah, super excited to get going with them.
So studios that work with Alea in the region will be able to access Tequity.
Exactly. Yeah. And because Alea's already integrated with a lot of studios, because with the RGS, which say that we do that with 30 studios now, we operate RGS for, and obviously a lot of them are with Alea. So in terms of integration, it's very simple for
single API.
Yeah, single API. So it's super simple to do. So yeah, it's a bit of flick switch, and then that'll apply for all our content. You mentioned originals.
Yeah.
We're also doing a lot on this third vertical, right? RGS, originals, publishing.
Yeah.
That's so this is not our own content. This is publishing and distributing third-party content as well. So we're looking to push
other
content.
original companies?
Not originals, just other studios.
Okay.
That content we'll also see will be super popular in Brazil. So this is where we're leveraging the distribution network we've got from RGS with over 100 integrations.
Right.
Originals from 300 plus operator brands and aggregators. So one I can mention, which we launched a few months ago now, is a studio called Mirage Gaming. They distribute Drop the Boss game on stake. These very popular, growing, increasing popularity burst games, right? So just a different mechanic. So that's something we're looking to distribute across our network, and obviously, also in Brazil. And there's you can do custom skins. It's not originals in terms of custom skins from that, but these games can be very, presented different content, different markets with the same mechanics that work across the board. So that's certainly an area. We'll definitely bring that into this market as well. So yeah, that's something we're looking forward to doing.
Cool. I mean, I also have something that's very interesting side of publishing. Please elaborate. Maybe I'm not looking at it the right way.
Yeah.
Does it conflict aggregators' business model in essence? Or I'm not looking at it at the right way?
Well, I suppose it kind of, people have asked, are we an aggregator, right? I guess more of a tech proxy type thing. We don't do all the other added on services they provide, and there'll be a lot of operators, providers that will want that we don't provide. So we're not getting involved in treading on those toes. And our distribution can work in different ways as well. So I mentioned Mirage Gaming. That is where they actually use our RGS as well. So they're using our technical infrastructure on that, and then tapping into our distribution as well. So it kind of, that is a different function for those type of studios that need a solution on the RGS side along with the distribution. So that's something which I think we can provide. So it's a little stripped down service, but we still get the benefits from the distribution if that's what their primary goal kind of is. So we will then tap in. Mirage Gaming is available, obviously will be on Alea, will be on all these aggregators as well. So they'll get the benefit of all of those kind of features and network benefits as well. Yeah, we also kind of do an RGS to RGS distribution as well. So studios don't need to necessarily host their RGS with us. They could just plug their existing one into ours and then tap into this large and growing network as well. So certainly, yeah, not going to be for absolutely everyone, but we think there's a strong demand. And also, like, we're trying to find content that's a little bit different. Some can't quite announce, unfortunately, now that we're talking to, that's different types of content. We've seen great uptake on the crypto side that we want to bring in. So we're going to build our network and also growing our team on that side of things, because it does involve further requirements on that side of things. So yeah, but it's super, it's something that it's another service that we can leverage our sort of distribution to as well. So
it's quite interesting how you're positioned with the three things that you're offering: originals, RGS, publishing, which is from what I'm hearing, has carved out a little niche that could be helpful for different players in different companies in B2B.
Yeah, we've taken a lot of the different audiences, right? Yeah, it's and it's all, let's say, it comes from this technology is based, right, infrastructure from it. That's super. That just enables us to do that and having these bolt-on. And, perhaps we'll better sort of tap into some other verticals, with time. But yeah, it's certainly exciting with what's going on and expanding into other markets. And this is a big one. So yeah, long-term goal to carve out a niche in LATAM, and with all, a lot of this supplies. Yeah. In RGS, even studios, they're regulated ready, the RGS solution, 30 plus studios, they're global. So that's an area for us. And then originals, that's something we're really starting to work on in this market. Got the different content studios that we think, burst games, there's other types of gameplay that will be of interest, a little bit innovative, like those kind of things, along with execution of the originals. So yeah, there's a lot to look forward to, definitely.
Great. Well, Dom, thank you so much for joining me.
It's been a pleasure.
Clarifying a lot of things for me as well as for the audience, and also sharing your plans where Tequity is growing in the region as well as a new partnership. So it's been a pleasure. Thank you for joining.
No, thanks very much for having me. It's been fantastic. Thank you.
So thank you for watching. Do like, subscribe, as well as follow Dom as well as Tequity. Do share your comments. Thank you so much for watching.